you see that little antenna on the fish?
Well, let me tell you, that fish wasn't just big, it was connected. Tagged by marine scientists, meaning that fish had more documentation than I did.
Welcome back to Life's Learning Curve. Storytelling. Our own life stories, full of humor, some cringeworthy moments, and at times, a grander purpose. Did you ever wonder just how you became the person you are today? That's us. Storytelling. And now, here's the host of Life's Learning Curve, Paul Hart.
You know, every town's got that guy, the one guy that dodges real work, long-term relationships, and anything with a due date, basically. I think we've all worked with people like that. And somehow people still think he's a great guy. They buy him drinks. This is a guy I knew in the Florida Keys, and that guy's name I spoke of in the last episode, Ernest Skip Wilson. Skip, I guess, for skipped effort entirely. Once this guy was an adventurer, now he was more of a professional loafer with a sunburnt. He could talk his way out of trouble, or at least maybe into new trouble that paid slightly better. And back in 2005, in the year we're backing up to here, Skip found himself waist deep in a boat, a fish, and a lie. So sloppy, it should have come with fins. There's a cooler involved, and a cop with a clipboard, and a fish named Principal Finnegan. Yes, Sebastian.
Life's Learning Curve, episode 95. This fish had more paperwork than our boat. Stand by.
It starts with a fish. So there's this place in the Keys called Sandy's Bait and Liquor, and this place is not much more than a lean-to with beer signs and the best gossip in the lower Keys. And gossip, there's the coconut telegraph, as Jimmy Buffett would say. It's around town all the time. So nobody's sure who or what Sandy was from the Sandy's Bait Shop, but one regular swears Sandy was a one-eyed cat who outlived 3 owners, and another one claims Sandy was a long-lost Hemingway cousin who opened the place after a divorce and a minor explosion. And then there's Old Mike. I guess he earned the title Old Mike, who insists Sandy is just how you feel after 5 minutes inside the joint. Its screen door creaked like it held a grudge, and the ceiling fan only worked when you whistled at it. That morning, the place smelled like salt, and something that had possibly been fried 3 days ago. Locals leaned against the crab traps like bar stools, sipping cafecito out of old jelly jars.
Excuse me, sir. What is that delicious-looking drink you're enjoying? We're visiting the Keys and we want to drink it all in. All this tropical fun, right?
And Skip Wilson responded to that tourist and said,
Fun? Lady, this ain't a cruise brochure. That's cafecito, Cuban espresso that'll punch in your taste buds and file a noise complaint with your heartbeat.
What?
It's sweet enough to pretend it likes you. Well, sure, but strong enough to remind you it doesn't.
What?
Careful, 'cause 2 sips and you'll either clean your whole rental car or you'll call your ex.
What? 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 Well, I don't I just want to know what you're drinking.
Yep, there he was, in his usual seat beneath the fan with one blade that was too short. Skip, looking like a man halfway between retirement and arrest. So enter Chug. Real name unknown, rumored to have once wrestled a pelican for a sandwich and lost. Chug had the kind of face that made you question your own memory, like you were pretty sure you'd once seen him wearing a shirt that read, "Do not accept checks from this man." Shirt was open, sunglasses cracked, and a scent like low tide at a tequila distillery. That was Chug's natural musk.
So, I'm sitting at Sandy's Bait and Liquor, and I just brushed off a couple of tourists and continued nursing the same cafecito I've been drinking since Nixon resigned. When in walks Chug. Yeah, that Chug. A human hurricane of poor decisions and worse cologne.
Skip, buddy. Hey, you still got that rickety boat with the bad carburetor and the busted radio?
Oh, you mean my yacht? Of course I do.
Good, because we got a situation. A real big grouper, like the kind Hemingway would lie about.
Now, any sane person hears situation and grouper in the same sentence. They walk away. Me? Well, I blink twice and say,
So, Chug, do I need bail money or sunscreen?
The answer was both. A few hours later, about a half-mile off of Sugarloaf Key, Skip, Chug, and Ricky Two Toes, don't ask, were bouncing in Skip's small boat, and it felt like it had been held together with duct tape and nostalgia.
There! Over there! I see a shadow!
How big, Ricky?
Well, it's bigger than Chug's tab at Sandy's bait shop. Why, you? Quiet, Ricky. Grab the net. This is it.
Oh, are you sure this is not some sunken Buick?
I'm sure.
This thing better have gills, Chug.
And then it happened. The reel screamed. The boat jerked sideways, and Chug was hooting like he'd won the lottery. Ricky nearly fell overboard, clutching the line.
Yes, sir! We got a big one!
the water exploded like we'd hooked a submarine. That black grouper came up out of the water angry, like we just keyed its truck and insulted its grandmother's hush puppies. It took all three of us to hold that monster in, and even then, it felt like the boat might tip.
Hold on! Holy skipjack! That's gotta be 80 pounds! Easy! Put it in the cooler, Ricky, quick!
Ricky,
in the cooler!
quick!
Ricky!
Oh, it's a monster. Look at that thing.
I got it. Whoa! Careful!
Cooler. That thing needs its own condo.
They wedged that beast into a cooler, not built for anything but a pulse, and that was the moment they should have gone home. Oh, no, but not these guys. That was the moment they noticed the tag.
Skip, you see that little antenna on the fish?
Oh, let me tell you, that fish wasn't just big. It was connected. Tagged by marine scientists, meaning that fish had more documentation than I did.
Catch, snag, regret.
Alright. So it turns out Chug and his cousin Ricky Two Toes, don't ask, had stumbled onto what they swore was the largest black grouper in the entire Lower Keys. Trouble was, the fish was already tagged by the University of Florida's Marine Research Team, and let me tell you, those folks treat their fish like royalty. I'm talking GPS, tracking numbers, and probably has its own Spotify playlist for fish. And here I am, sitting in a stolen moment on my own rickety boat with two guys who treat planning like a four-letter word. My guts started doing backflips. My left eye always twitches when I'm nervous, and it was practically Morse coding an SOS signal. Chug was sweating so hard it looked like his eyebrows were trying to escape. He kept checking the horizon like he owed it money.
Let's just relocate. Like right now, we'll take off, or we'll relocate the fish briefly, or maybe for a photo. Yeah, maybe a fry up. Come on, Chug, that fish has a GPS on it. Then will you eat real quick? Chug.
10 minutes later, the men were drifting past Sugarloaf, net tangled, radio broken, and Skip's rickety boat was sounding like it was coughing up a hairball.
Skip, you ever get that feeling we're being watched?
Oh, yeah. All the time, especially when I'm with you guys. Today, we're being watched by common sense, and it's wondering why it ever left us alone.
Chug tried to whistle like he wasn't sweating bullets, which only made it worse because Chug couldn't whistle. Sounded something like a tea kettle being throttled. See, I knew it wasn't if the patrol would show up, it was when. And sure enough, just as Ricky was untangling the net for the 5th time, I spotted that Marine patrol boat on the horizon. Blue trim, 2 uniformed guys, and the kind of slow approach that says, "Whoa, we're not mad yet, but give us a minute." You ever steal a fish from scientists? Spoiler alert, they don't find it funny. And neither does your blood pressure when the Marine Patrol starts circling real close, like they're closing in on a fugitive with gills. Blue lights, like I say, siren scream and bullhorn.
Monroe County Marine Patrol, put your boat in neutral. Put your boat in neutral.
I swear one of those guys had a clipboard. I could see it was labeled Dumbest Arrests 2005.
The unexpected hero. So it turns out Chug and his cousin Ricky Two Toes had stumbled onto what they swore was the largest black grouper in the lower Keys. Now, trouble was the fish was already tagged by the University of Florida's Marine Research Team.
Put your boat in neutral. Idle.
Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Let's try and outrun them. Yeah, quiet, Ricky.
Just take it easy. Be cool, you guys.
So there we are, dead in the water. Humidity thick enough to chew, and I'm staring down 2 Marine Patrol officers who look like they were born skeptical. Meanwhile, there's a fish in our cooler flopping like it's trying to dial 911 with its fins. And as for Chug, he's standing there next to me on the boat, but as if he's trying to remember if lying to the police is still technically frowned upon. So I spoke up.
Gentlemen, thank goodness you're here. We were just transporting this specimen for the Lower Keys Children's Marine Awareness Program. They've named this fish, the kiddies did. They call it Principal Finnegan. Yeah, that's what they named him. You don't want to disappoint the kids.
Now you gotta understand, Skip didn't just say it. He sold it with every ounce of being that Skip could still sell at his age. Whole thing was like he was pitching a PBS special on noble fish education. One of the officers squinted at the cooler like he was about to salute the grouper. It was kind of special, he thought.
My niece goes to that school, I think.
It wasn't a confession, but it was enough.
All right, you 3 men release this fish and never fish near scientific buoys again. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Righto.
Chug gave me a look like I just pulled a rabbit out of my beer can. We opened the cooler and that big old grouper flopped back into the water like it had somewhere important to be. I swear, before it disappeared into the deep, it turned and gave me a look like, "You owe me, pal."
Somewhere out in the coral heads off of Sugarloaf Key, a grouper named Principal Finnegan is probably still telling his side of the story. But as for Skip's side of the story, well, it was true. True enough.
Some stories you tell to warn folks. Others you tell 'cause they're just too ridiculous not to. This one, a little of both, I guess.
So on today's episode of Life's Learning Curve, we have to determine just what Skip might have learned. Or Chug, or even Ricky Two Toes. Well, I think this. Skip learned that charm can't fix everything, but it might buy you some time. Not exactly the truth that you're telling, but that's what Skip got out of it, I imagine. He doesn't always know what he's doing, but Skip does know how to buy himself enough breathing room that even the laziest guy in town has his moment from time to time. So sometimes the underachiever is just conserving energy for one more legendary move. That's Skip. And how about this one? Let's finish with this. Never lend your boat to a man with a nickname and a cooler full of promises. Until then, for Life's Learning Curve, I'm Paul Hart.
Subscribe to Life's Learning Curve at lifeslearningcurve.org and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or Podchaser.
This Season 7 episode of Life's Learning Curve was produced by Sebastian T., Dog, and Paul Hart. Find us just about everywhere podcasts are heard. Visit our website, lifeslearningcurve.org. While you're there, subscribe. We'd love to have you aboard. This episode has imaginative voice creations. To protect the privacy of others, some names have been changed and characters conflated. Episode 95. This fish had more paperwork than our boat. For more true stories from our life's archives, you'll find us again right here on Life's Learning Curve.